Welcome back, YouTube. We are back with a educational series as per usual, slightly different this week. But before we start the video, I just want to say a huge thank you and also welcome to the channel to all of the new subscribers. And it's been very, very overwhelming. I'd had a video that one of these educational ones, surprisingly, that just slapped. I think we're on like 14,000 views, which is crazy. And literally within 2 weeks, we've gone from, I think it was 280 subscribers to 4.1 thousand. So welcome to the channel. Hopefully I will not disappoint you and going to keep providing as much value and education as possible, and hopefully a bit of entertainment as well. So I do massively appreciate all you new guys, and welcome to the channel. Hopefully you won't be disappointed. So this one is a little bit different. So this isn't necessarily educational, it's more how building my business, my brand, KJ Fitness, has essentially been coexisting obviously with building my physique as well at the same time. So this kind of delves into how my actual physique training, my gym life and nutrition has helped me build my business to where it is today. And it's the kind of habits that kind of interlink with one another. And it's not just about motivation, it's not just luck, it's literally discipline and repeated discipline every single day, even on the days that you don't necessarily feel like it. And a prime example, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you, I always keep this 100% real. Didn't really want to film this today. I thought, I've got to talk to the camera. I feel like I'm getting a little bit of a cold, to be honest. That's why I wasn't feeling 100% motivated. And it's a rest day, which is no excuse. I should be getting it done. And this is a prime example. I'm getting this video done, even when I don't necessarily feel like it. So there, you can have that motivational speech to start with. So essentially, the start, and this first slide is a picture of me in the background with a towel, which you're probably thinking, what the hell's you got that for? It was during lockdown, actually, when I suppose just before lockdown, my KJ Fitness business started, my brand. And obviously it was during lockdown, obviously. And there was just like workouts that I kept seeing on Instagram and TikTok, and it was a towel workout. And obviously you just pull the towel to create the resistance, and you can do like bent over rows, shoulder presses. And I was fully serious at the time when I made it. And watching it back now, I cringe, man. But that is, again, proof in the pudding that things aren't going to be perfect when you start, whether that be your physique journey, your fitness journey, your business, anything. It's always going to be funny. And the best thing is that you can look back and see growth. I think that's the most important thing. Like I know I've grown in literally every aspect since then. So yeah, look back on your early years of whether it be your business or your physique, and just reflect and see how far you've come. You'll be proud of yourself. So when I first started training, much like my business, I didn't really have any clue of how to get to where I wanted to, or get to where I am today. I never did business at school. I've not really come from a businessy background. My parents don't have their own businesses or anything like that. I was never around anything, when I was younger, to kind of get that influence. Equally with my training, the roughs ins and outs of training, but in terms of how to build muscle and get lean, it was almost, just winging it. So they were both very much unstructured, and it was just a case of showing up. But every session, every day in the gym or with the business, it taught me something new. And again, just that kind of self-reflection on assessing and figuring out what works and what doesn't work, and doing more of the things that work and less of the things that don't work. So yeah, one thing I learned about myself that I could change if I was willing to put the work in. And yeah, I'd like to think that we have changed quite a bit since then. The shift. So the shift was really when I started kind of tracking things, and this again both kind of interlinks with one another in regards to the gym. We always relate back to the gym when it comes to this. So once I started tracking my lifts, my meals, my sleep, just data in general, things started moving. Things started changing productively for the business and my training as well. And it's the same with like my actual business, tracking clients logs and tracking clients' nutrition and steps, and having like an actual database where we could store this data, as opposed to just giving them a workout plan like I did at the start and being like, did you progress this week? On some of the movements I did, but not all of them. And that's why maybe at the start the results weren't coming in thick and fast like they are now, because we've just got so much more systems and processes in place that allow progress to be just a lot more consistent and just frictionless, basically. So progress wasn't random. It became predictable. I could predict a client's drop in scale weight. I could predict my own PBs in the gym if adequately fueled and the data was there in front of me. So this is when I realized that structure in itself creates freedom. And what I mean by freedom is not like freedom is that I can go and do whatever I want, whenever I want, but just when you're in control of whether that be your own journey or a client's journey or your own business, when you feel in control of it, that's the freedom that I think a lot of people look for. It's the same with your physique. Once you, like now for a prime example, I've just been away this weekend, and a lot of people early on in their kind of physique development journeys or just their fitness kind of journeys, they'll massively stress about, oh, what shall I eat? Should I prep this? Should I take that? What shall I eat at the restaurant? Whereas now it is just automated. I know if I'm going out for a meal and it's a little bit on the sparse side when it comes to things like protein, I'll probably have to take some protein with me on the holiday to have a little shake when I get back home. Simple things like that. And when you feel a lot more in control, and prime example again, away for the weekend, I took my scales with me. I just kept the same weight all weekend. No fluctuations, and that is feeling in control, and that is also freedom. The realization, so I started noticing a few patterns, the same traits that got me progress in the gym are the ones that were helping me in life. So showing up even when I didn't feel like it, today. Tracking progress every single week. Being patient with the process, that's a very big one. Time and patience, you'll always hear me banging on about. You can't rush greatness. As I think it's Central C, that's his new album, isn't it? Once said. But you can't rush greatness, you can't rush progress, you can't rush results. It takes time. And I've said this so many times on this channel, but in a world where everything is instant for us, if you can have that little bit of patience and delayed gratification, you'll get such good results. If you're willing to put the time and the work and the effort in, you will be rewarded, okay? Those who do that will always be rewarded. And then learning as well, instead of guessing. So when it came to like business, I might have, signed up to business mentorships. When it came to my, my own coaching and, me being a coach, learning about the gym myself and also for my clients, I've been on multiple mentorships for coaching, education, and obviously, all my qualifications that came with it as well. So, learning isn't just reading from a book, it's actually applying that learning as well. The business parallel. Ooh. When I launched KJ Fitness, I treated it the same the way I was treating my trading. So showing up daily, okay? Making sure everything was structured. Check-ins had their certain time, replying to clients had their certain time, making sure all the, the sheets and everything from the educational portal to the nutrition plans were all up to date for all my clients. Showing up and doing all that kind of stuff. Not chasing quick wins, not getting disheartened if I didn't sign up 20 clients when I put like a special offer on my story, or not getting disheartened if I didn't get shredded within 4 weeks. You can see how both of these work from a business standpoint and from a physique standpoint. And focusing on progression, not perfection. Not everything's going to be perfect. Not every training session that you go in and do is going to be perfect. Equally, when you're working on your business, not every single month is going to be your best month. And that is just the beauty of life. You take the highs as the highs and you hopefully learn, not necessarily lows, but you learn from the lows and how to improve on that. And the biggest thing I can give you for this is always just look back on the past and see how far you have come in either your physique journey, your business or work, if you've had promotions, if you've, as long as you're moving forwards, you're always going to be doing all right. And sometimes moving forwards will look like this. Other times it will look like this. And other times it will look like this. Progress isn't linear. We wish it could be, but it's not. It's the same as fat loss as well. Just like training, results didn't come overnight, but they came. The struggle phase. So there are obviously moments where, and even now still, being, and again, trying to link it to the two, not so much maybe from the gym side of things. I think, from my own physique, I've learned that just, showing up every single day in the gym is what gets you results, okay? And, learning to have a good, healthy relationship with not only the gym world, but also outside of that as well, with relationships and everything else that goes on in life. So yeah, I think obviously going back a few years, there's times and periods, even now, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say I'm the holy grail of online coaching. There's times where when anyone is a self-employed individual that, clients will go quiet, clients will miss check-ins, clients will drop off. Equally the same as you won't hit PBs in the gym every week. You might get an illness, you might get injured. This is why I really like making this post, because they are very, very similar in so many different ways. Content that I spent hours on, or YouTubes that I've spent hours on recording and editing, just 10 views. And, it's no different from like a plateau in the gym. But you just push through, you stay consistent, you adapt. if you have the mindset of, oh well, this video didn't do well, or I put an offer out on my coaching and no one signed up, or no one hit the poll box, or I went to the gym and I just regressed on everything. So you don't go again to the gym next week if that happens, or what, I'm just going to pack the business in because no one signed up, or clients, 5 clients have left this month. Like, people that have that mindset, unfortunately, don't do very well in life in terms of progress. They'll probably just stay very stagnant in whatever it is they're doing. You have to be ambitious. You have to be relentless when it comes to things like this. And this is where most people quit. Okay, so this is my Instagram page, as you can see on the screen here, back from 2019 when I created it. So I think this page is about 6 years old now. I don't think that this YouTube channel is 6 years old, but the Instagram page most definitely is. And you can see Kieran Joseph Evans. KJ was obviously just the idea at the time. KJ's actually become the brand now. It's a picture of me in a disabled toilet with my top off. You can just see from Instagram to Instagram, like, how it, even just that, the professionalism of it, the actual design of it, everything is just a lot more professional, and that's progress in my eyes from a business standpoint. And you can see, Bachelor of Science. I did the degree I've got, and what I studied in uni was photographic journalism, believe it or not. But that was under the kind of category of Bachelor of Science. So I thought I'd put that in my bio because it makes me sound clever, like I've got a science degree and I know everything about biology and biomechanics and things like that, where back then I probably didn't, more so now. But progress, and just me doing training clips. But you have to start somewhere. Much like if you're watching this now and thinking, oh, I'm never going to get the physique I want. Imagine if I thought that about my Instagram page, oh, I'm never going to get more than 40 followers. Now we're on 10.5k, amazing. So the lesson, and to kind of summarize this, is building my body taught me everything business never could. How to delay gratification, how to stay consistent when motivation dies, and how to believe in something before anyone else does. Okay, I'm not saying I was a big manifestation kind of guy at the start, where I was like, I know this business is going to do well. I know I'm going to get, 10,000 followers on Instagram and 4,000 subscribers on YouTube. I never did that. I just showed up every single day and created the videos, created the content, did all the work that was necessary to help my guys on the team become also the best versions of themselves. And I'd like to think that, I kind of hope clients look up and see that I'm doing all of this stuff that I'm asking them to do. I would never sit back and be like, oh, come on, mate, don't be lazy and not get your steps on a Friday night. Make sure and I'm sat there on 2,000 steps on a Friday night playing FIFA. Like, I would never ask anything of my clients that I don't or haven't done myself. Okay, and I'd like to think that that's the kind of standard I want to set for them as well. And, some of the guys on the team now are probably even exceeding me because their standards are even higher, which is incredible. And that is just that kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Infectious kind of effect that it will have on your circle. I see my clients and my guys on the team as part of my circle. I speak to them more than I speak to my friends. They are, my friends as well, which is a nice relationship to have with a lot of them. But the outcome now is that I coach others to do the same, because the journey was never about just building muscle. It was about becoming the person capable of building anything. And I truly believe that I'm building an amazing team of people who are all, rooting for one another, and also, rooting for themselves, most importantly. A lot of people come into the program with maybe low self-esteem, low self-belief. And once they've gone through maybe like a muscle building journey, a photo shoot journey, or even on stage, like, they become a different individual. Do you know how hard it is to kind of rewire and teach your brain past the age of like 2 or 3 or 4, 5 years old, when, neuroplasticity is kind of not as present, rewiring the brain, to kind of rewire your thought process, your habits, post like teenage years is super, super hard to do. And the fact that people can come up the other side of one of these journeys and view themselves in a different light, and yes, have an amazing and fantastic physique at the end of it as well, is incredible to see. And I love what I do. And I'm so happy that both my business and my biggest passion very much coexist and go hand in hand with one another. And I feel like I'm living the dream. I can't lie. So your physique is proof that you can build something from nothing. Apply that same mindset to every area in your life and you'll win. Peace. Thank you very much for watching this video. Hope you've enjoyed it. 15 minutes long. And if you have any questions, or if you are on a very similar journey right now, let me know. I'll see you in the next one.